Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. We apologize for some technical difficulties, but Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman in the studio now as we get set to bring you all of today's FCAC action. Kevin, the first round of the girls soccer Class L tournament started yesterday. It was a big day for the FCAC. They went only one loser in a non-conference versus conference matchup, but the biggest winner of the day had to be the Brian McMahon Senators.
Yeah, congratulations to Brian McMahon. That's a huge win against a very good Newtown team, so congrats to them.
The 25 seed were the Senators. They are now the highest remaining seeded team left in the tournament after knocking off number 8. They'll get set to play number 9 Staples on Friday. And to give us a great look into that game coming up, we welcome now to Nutmeg Sports the head coach for the McMahon Senators, and that is Angelo Singliotis. Coach, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're good too. Thank you for taking time with us. Let's start with yesterday's. Let's start with yesterday's win, Coach. A huge win for your program, making its first tournament appearance since 2007. It took all of extra time to get there. What was that game like yesterday?
I mean, the girls were ready for it, and we had a long time of practice. We had a long time before our last game and this first day game. So I just wanted to remind them to stay calm. Play just like any other game that we played all season. And one thing I kept telling them was to believe in themselves, that we're here for a reason. We're just as good as any team in the States, and I didn't want them to get caught up in the moment. And they played excellent, and they played as good as anyone could hope for. So I was very proud of them.
Coach, describe your emotion when that goal was scored late in that second overtime and finally when the final whistle was blown. Talk about your emotion and your team just as a whole.
I mean, obviously, as you could imagine, everyone was extremely excited. We have a never die attitude, and we've seen that in multiple games this year. So, when we scored, first of all, I mean, everyone started celebrating. What I did right away, though, is I tried to focus on how could I hold the lead. So we made some adjustments right there, and the last 2-3 minutes could not have ticked off the clock any slower. It was just a thing where anything that could have gone wrong, I thought about it and we tried to prevent it from actually happening. So we were all excited, but then we knew we still had to get through another 2 more minutes of the game.
Coach, you talk about having to make adjustments in that game. One of the biggest adjustments you've had to make all year, you've had to use 3 different goaltenders. Tatiana Arias, the junior, yesterday came up with 10 saves. How big has her play been to this team down the stretch?
I mean, yeah, so last night she played, the best game I've seen her play all season. She always had it in her. I've seen it in her practices. But yesterday she actually put everything together. She's been playing great lately, as of late, and it's perfect time. They say in baseball, if pitchers hot in the postseason, the team can go far. And if our goalie is hot in the postseason, then we'll ride her shoulders and we'll have her lead on. But our first 8 games we had to play with a freshman goalie, and she held her own. She got us 4 wins. Our senior goaltender at the beginning of the season, she got hurt at a preseason game, and she didn't appear in any regular season games. But, all the girls were confident in any of the goalies that we put out there. And, the goalies saw that the field players were confident in them, and that put confidence on them. So it helped having, we had a senior, junior, and freshman, and, they all stepped in when needed to.
Well, Coach, what was your preparation like getting ready for this game against Newtown? And also, what's your preparation like? I know you got training today. What's it going to be like getting ready for Staples? What's the message to your team?
For Newtown, we knew a little bit about them. We knew they had an amazing goaltender. They have an amazing forward. And we wanted to work on a few things that we knew that they would do. We knew that they would play the ball over the top and try to get their fast forwards on the ball. So all week at practice, well, a couple of days of practice because of the change, we practiced on clearing the ball, making sure when our center backs, our defense gets the ball, that we get it up to the midfield quick. We knew they would pressure high, and they did. And, Newtown did an excellent job at their game plan, but our girls, we had a game plan coming in, and they executed it perfectly. And for Staples, excuse me, for Staples, we know they're kind of like the same team. They're a big team, so we're going to have to work on, clearing the ball, whether it be corner kicks, free kicks. During the regular season, they scored all 3 of their goals off of set pieces against us. So that's going to be something that we have to working on. And there's a couple of things that we're going to be working on. But one thing I keep telling the girls, we don't want to change how we play too much. We want other teams to change their game. If we go into the game on the defensive saying we're going to change how we play, that's already starting off the game negatively. We want to be the ones that forces the other teams to change how we play.
Coach, you guys lost to Staples earlier in the year 3-0, but this is obviously a different team compared to what we saw early on this year. What is the biggest difference in the way you guys are playing right now?
They trust each other. The girls trust each other. They communicate better. At the beginning of the year, we were still trying to figure out the best position for the players. But now everyone's a family. We've gone through trials and tribulations. We've gone through making mistakes for the first time, and you said at the start of the segment, and they believe in each other. Coming in, I wanted to change the culture. I wanted to change the culture of the program, and instead of going from oh my God, we're winning a game to now we expect every game to be holding a lead. We're gonna have to hold the lead. Against St. Joe's, we had a 1-0 lead. Against Richfield, we had a 1-0 lead. And we let those leads slip. But now I think we're at the stage where, we believe in ourselves more, we believe in each other, and we know that if we get a lead that we're able to hold on to it.
Now, Coach, you talk about the changing of the culture. What have the underclassmen on this team meant to this team?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
I was saying, what do the underclassmen mean to you? What have they meant to this roster all season long for you?
Both upperclassmen and underclassmen, they've helped each other. We have a lot of good underclassmen coming through the program right now. It's a great time. And they feed all the upperclassmen, they mentored. They mentored the young. We didn't have any problems of upperclassmen versus underclassmen, And there's a lot of underclassmen that are taking some of the playing time from the upperclassmen. But, all we've seen is support from each other. The upperclassmen, when underclassmen score a goal or get assists or at practice, if they do something well, the underclassmen sometimes help out the upperclassmen. Usually you see it the other way around, but, everyone's a big family, and it's good to see, the freshmen helping out the seniors. And it's good to see the seniors helping out the freshmen. So there's a great camaraderie between all the grades.
Coach, we don't want to spend too much time on it, but obviously on Monday you were supposed to start this tournament. There was a miscommunication amongst the CIAC. You guys had already arrived in Newington for your game before you found out it was canceled. Yeah. What was that experience like on Monday for the girls?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. We were up there. We were on the field. We were walking around the field, getting to know the field. I just told the girls to start getting ready. Newington was there. They were about to get ready. And then their athletic director, he told us that, something happened with the CIAC and that all the games were canceled. And I didn't really know too much about it. But, things happen in life. If we dwelled on it and if we were sour about it, and if it lingered on, who would have known what happened against Newtown. But we just focused on, right then the athletic director told us that we were going to be playing Newtown. I guess they updated the bracket pretty quick. So we just shifted all of our attention to the next game. We had a practice up in Newington, and, they were gracious enough to let us use their fields. We just focused on what was coming next. We couldn't dwell on it too long. We played in 2 days, and, that helped us a lot.
Well, it looked like it worked out pretty well. Coach, congrats again on the win. Thanks so much for taking time with us today, and best of luck against the Wreckers tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. That was head coach Angelo Singerliotis for the Brian McMahon girls soccer team. Of course, number 25 knocking off number 8 in the first round of the playoffs. Kevin, let's take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. When we come back, we're going to look at the rest of the action from the girls' first round that was yesterday right here on the HAN Network.
1, 2, 3, heavy, I want to find out how good I am. Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done!
What can you take advantage of right now?
Again, come on.
I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Pressure technique. Bring it back.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking. To a partner that makes small businesses feel big. Where community comes first. Where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch. Where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver. Where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
For unique and special holiday gifts, come to Touch of Sedona, a spiritual boutique located in the heart of Ridgefield, Connecticut. We have plenty of unique pieces, including Native American and equestrian jewelry, crystals, candles, incense, and books, as well as an ever-changing showcase of artists, intuitive practitioners, healers, and lots more. Happy holidays from Touch of Sedona, 452 Main Street in Ridgefield. Visit us today. Open 7 days a week.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
Back on the HAN Network with Nutmeg Sports, Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman. A special thank you again to Coach Singerliotis from Brian McMahon. A huge win for the Senators, Kevin, in that first round, knocking off the number 8 seed. There were a couple of SEAC teams yesterday, though, that were big winners for the conference.
Yeah, you talk about that big win against Newtown. Scoring, he mentioned it, that he was worried that game was going to go to PKs, and that's a fear for every coach. When the clock's winding down, that second overtime, that's what you're thinking about that next. You're thinking about what 5 kickers am I going to choose, to use for PKs, and that's probably what was going through his head. And he sounded, even now the game's over, he still sounded so thrilled that they pulled that victory out.
It's so exciting, and what a great game that is going to be tomorrow afternoon when McMahon goes to play at Staples. Some of the other action yesterday from Class L. Number 3 Ridgefield, big win over East Hartford, 5-1. We expected the Tigers to roll. They now get ready to play Trumbull, who upset Darien 3-0 yesterday. Myself included, not a lot of people giving the Eagles that much of a chance, but kudos to Trumbull.
Kudos to Trumbull. It's going to be a great matchup between Ridgefield and Trumbull. I'm excited for that game.
Fairfield Ward rocked West Haven, an offensive onslaught, 5-0 shutout for the Mustangs. But now they have got to go up against number 2 Suffield, an undefeated team, the team that also caused the whole CIC stir-up. But if the Mustangs are able to pour 5 goals in again, I think they like their chances, but that'll be very tough against Suffield.
It's going to be a way different matchup than what they just saw in that 5-0 win. Suffield is a much more, this is a complete team from front to back. And I think the Mustangs definitely have a good chance of winning this game. I mean, they've definitely played every team in the FCIAC so strong. So this is a good matchup for the Mustangs. You never know. I mean, this is what's awesome about this tournament. You just don't know who's going to pull up the upset. So who knows? Mustangs definitely have a chance.
West Hill, 2-0 win over Danbury. The Hatter season is over, but the Vikings move on. They now get Cheshire, the number 5 seed. The Rams beat Fairfield Ludlow 1-0. So the Falcons and Hatters are done. How do the Vikings match up against Cheshire, Kevin?
Match up well. I think we've seen the Vikings this season. They're a strong team. Unfortunate that they got knocked out early in the FCAC tournament, but we still say that we think that West Hill could be that team that could surprise some people and maybe sneak their way into the semifinal.
Wilton, a 1-0 win over E.O. Smith. They're going to go to number 4 Enfield. Staples sent New Canaan packing, 3-0 shutout yesterday. And, of course, now the Wrecker is going to play McMahon. We just spoke with Coach Singliotis. We've seen the Wreckers this year. Who do you like in that game, though, early on?
Ooh, that's a really tough call. I think it's a really good game for a number 9 seed playing a 25 seed. And I'm actually going to go with the upset here. I'm going to say McMahon is going to win this game 1-0, and it's going to be a really tight game. But you talk about the underclassmen that have stepped up this year for this McMahon team. I think you're going to see it tomorrow night.
All those games will be played tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, Friday, November 11th for round 2 of the soccer tournament. Kevin, let's quickly now, it's Thursday, take a look at the weekend's football schedule. We've got all 17 FCAC teams in action. Let's start Friday night, New Canaan at Ludlow. The Rams 8-0, the Falcons 0-8. The last hurdle for New Canaan before the Turkey Bowl. Could be a rough night for the Falcons.
Unfortunately, this is, I said it before, this is a great coaching staff at Ludlow. And it hurts that, they're having a rough season. They'll bounce back. And New Canaan's, they're going to roll in this one.
Trumbull and Norwalk, interesting matchup here. 5-3 Eagles coming off that tough loss against New Canaan. Norwalk 3-5, took a beating from the Cardinals. The experts want you to think Trumbull should roll easily, but I think the Bears at home, they give them a better game than Trumbull expects.
I agree with you, and they put up 34 points against Greenwich, and that's a good Greenwich Cardinal defense. So who knows? I mean, this is a good matchup between these two teams. Still really do like Johnny McElroy, who's the quarterback for Trumbull. I've liked him all year. So we'll see what happens. I still think Trumbull will edge this one out.
Danbury 2-6. They go to Wilton, who is 5-3. Wilton with a 31-0 win over Guilford. They are still in the playoff hunt for Class L. McMahon's coming off Danbury is coming off their second win of the year over McMahon. Is that Hatter's offense of the triple option attack enough, or is the 3-headed ground attack from Wilton going to prevail easily?
3-headed monster for the Wilton Warriors is going to prevail in this one. Sorry, Hatters, but I had to go there.
McMahon and Ward. 0-7 McMahon, 1-7 Ward. This game's at Fairfield Ward. McMahon is running out of time now to find a way to win a game. This might be their best chance with only Norwalk remaining after this one.
I'm going to give it to him. McMahon's going to get their first win of the year against Ward.
And Coach A.J. Albano has done a great job with the Senators this year. I don't believe they're an 0-7 team in any other conference. They've had some tough breaks throughout the season. Last game Friday night, Darien at Staples. We were there for the heartbreaker last week with the Wreckers. 5-3 now. They're probably on the outside looking in. But a win over Darien could go a long way to possibly propelling Staples into that 8th and final spot with some help.
This is a big test for both teams. I mean, this is, like you mentioned before with New Canaan, this is the last hurdle for Darien. If they can get over this, then we have 2 undefeated teams playing on Thanksgiving Day. I think Staples is going to give them everything that they've got. And if you're Darien, you got to watch out, but I still give the Blue Wave the edge.
3 games being played on Saturday. Central at Trinity. Trinity now has won 4 straight. They're 5-3. Central coming off their first win of the year after a big win, 45-22 over Ludlow. But I think the Crusaders, we said it, they're going to find a way to turn this around, run the table, maybe sneak into Class S.
I agree with you. I think they're coming off that big in-city win against Stanford. I'm going to go with Trinity in this one.
Congrats again to Trinity, your Stanford City champions for 2016. NFA, Norwich Free Academy, comes to Boyle Stadium to take on the Black Knights. Stanford, since that 3-0 start, 3-5, having a rough go about it now. NFA 5-2, they win big, and they need to keep winning to stay in the playoff hunt.
I'm going to say NFA in this one. It's unfortunate. Stanford, you mentioned it, starting 3-0. They've gone on a skid ever since, and unfortunately, I think NFA is going to take this one.
West Hill at St. Joe's. West Hill's 3-5. St. Joe's 7-1. A huge win for the first time over Staples in over a decade. St. Joe's, I think, keeps reeling in this one. They're number 2 in Class M right now. Could overtake the number 1 spot.
Yeah, I hope so, but I'm still going to take St. Joe's in this one. We saw them a few weeks ago. High-powered offense. I'm going to take them.
And, of course, our game of the week is going to be Greenwich at Ridgefield. It's essentially a play-in game for the state playoffs, we believe. Let's not go too into detail about it. We'll have tailgate tomorrow, of course, but who's a player that needs to make an impact on this game if their team is going to win?
Kevin Iobi. Plain and simple. He needs to come out. This is a Richfield defense who we've seen good things, we've seen bad things, and we'll see what happens, what he can bring tomorrow night, but that's the main focus on tomorrow night. If Kevin Iobi can break out and get some big runs, and I think Greenwich could get the edge.
I think on the other side, it's got to be Greg Gatto, the quarterback for the Tigers. They've stuck with him with Shane Fowler now playing receiver. I just think that Gatto's got to have the game of his career to slow down that Greenwich offense. Kevin, we're going to be back later on this afternoon at 6 o'clock. We've got state second-round volleyball for you. The defending FCX champion Stanford Black Knights and the Staples Wreckers. Again, that at 6 o'clock. As always, tomorrow, not at 11 though, we'll have coffee break for you live from Tiger Hollow as we get set for our game of the week. For Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. We'll see you next time on the HAN Network.